But I have a question for you.
Okay.
What's your favorite move?
My, we've done that one, right?
Well, I'll tell you what my least favorite move is. It's the Irish whip, Danny. Is the Irish whip ruining professional wrestling, or is it just me?
No, the Irish whip is ingrained. It is a part of professional wrestling.
Isn't there a style of because you always hear like, well, there's other styles of wrestling besides WWE. Do Irish whips define WWE? Like in Japan, do they do as many Irish whips?
Maybe not as many, but I mean, it's in every style. I've never watched any other style. Like I've never watched some luchador. I've never watched like Japanese wrestling, whatever else the fuck is out there. And people haven't done that. It's that weird part of wrestling where you have to suspend disbelief. I think more so than most other times.
Danny, the Irish whip is bullshit. I'm convinced the Irish whip is the death of wrestling.
But how could it be the death of wrestling if it's something that's always been a part of wrestling? I mean, you go back 50 years, people were doing the Irish whip.
Not as much, Danny. There was more punches and suplexes.
But there was a lot more rest holds, which I don't think you care for either.
Danny, I hate them.
Well, the Irish whip is just a way to transition from one spot to another most of the time. And back then it was a lot of, the guy might do a suplex, but then he'd roll into a headlock and they'd lay there for 5 minutes. I mean, so I think this is just a quicker way of moving the match around from spot to spot.
Danny, it's not one or the other. It's not, you can either Irish whip me or give me a headlock for a half hour. Danny, all you got to do, there's reasons for you to run at somebody. One of them is not because this guy grabbed your arm with his arm and for some reason had enough strength to throw you. I don't care if they bounce him off the other ropes first. You notice how they'll take him, lean him against the ropes, then bounce him back? That's a little more believable. But nobody's running because somebody pulled their hand. It doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't compute. However, if you want someone to run at you, but are we forgetting this is fake and predetermined? Hello, just figure out scenarios where they're running. Denny, it's not that difficult.
So your problem is the unbelievability.
Oh,
of it.
It's completely that in a slingshot.
And it absolutely is.
It's crazy.
It's never going to go away at this point. It's such an associated thing with wrestling, and it's not a thing. I mean, it's almost the whole reason for even having ropes at this point. Like the ropes serve as a way to bounce people off, like as if they're these super unnatural rubber bands.
I will use the ropes as a weapon, as a defensive thing, and it'll be absolutely tell a story in my match, but not the unbelievable story that you cannot stop the momentum of running into the rope. Now I'm bouncing off them. They should just run into the rope, spinning in circles, like, oh my God, I just can't control myself.
I absolutely agree with you on the unbelievable factor of it, but it's such a natural part for me that I don't even notice it. Like I can tell this is one of those things like you've latched onto it. So now when you're watching matches, like every time it happens, like it's just, just eating away at you. It's ruining the match, one Irish whip at a time where like it happens for me. I don't even notice it. I'm not thinking about it. We're going to have to do something to make you forget that you hate Irish whips.
I could just stop getting high. Yeah.
That might be the thing. You're not at your best when you're high.
Danny Richardson, I cannot wait to wake up in the morning and watch this clip on TV Talk Wrestling.